everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. And yes, Steve, you are not late. StreamYard was having trouble opening. So, anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. I'm Katrina. This is Sow and Tare. You are in the right place. We do a live chat every Monday night. Usually, the first Monday of the month is on Thursday. This week, we're doing it today. I have company coming in on Thursday, and I had the availability to do it Monday. So, here we are. Hopefully people are start spilling in because I know last Monday I did say Thursday this time, so sorry for those people. Anyway, hope everybody's doing good. All right, so Verna is here, Vay's Place, who is Blue Little Wrench. She's moderator. Welcome, Verna. First like, first comment. Awesome. And yes, sweet potato slips. I will be watching for them. I wonder how long it'll take to get here. All our mail goes through Portland now, so it'd be interesting. Steve's here. Steve's S.O. Swanson. He is also a moderator with a little blue wrench. And welcome. Anime's here. Hi, she says. Hello, Desiree. And she says, incubator is fixed and up and running. Good. We like this. Serena's here. Hi, cousins. Watching the green room. Let's get growing. Yes. I did not watch that. I was doing bee stuff. But it is awesome. So she's talking about Enoch's channel over at the Urban Gardener, and he puts on a 3-day weekend show, which is good. Oh, awesome, Verna. Thank you. Yeah. Let me know if you think I need the light on. I kind of forgot to put that light on. I have my little light on, but yeah, I have Mr. Ringo in here with me. He's I'll tilt it. There's Mr. Ringo. He's sleepy. He went to the vet today and got shots, and so he's sleepy. And then I gave him the tick treatment. Yeah, are you complaining? You guys hear him? I gave him the tick treatment when we got back from the vet. So hi. I'm sorry. Is that where your shot was? Does that hurt if I do that? I'm sorry. And so I'm keeping him and Mama Kitty apart while that dries. So he'll go out tomorrow afternoon, I think. So yeah. And Mama Kitty, she had an appointment today. She did not go to her appointment because she got wise to me. I tried to get her on Saturday just to make sure I got her in time. And as soon as I, got right here, she knew what was happening, and then she didn't let me do anything else. So she's rescheduled for next month. Anyway, yeah. So Desiree says, currently designing a chicken run and coop. Awesome. No need for other lights. Good, Steve. Thank you. Okay. And Serena says Mike Van Duzy from Keep On Growing is on Urban Gardener. Yep. He has good guests. I was a guest when J-Bot took over. So yeah. Ooh, the 11th. Okay, Verna, hang on. Let me put that in my calendar before I forget. Check post office box. Okay. Post office box. Got it in my calendar. Thank you, Verna. I'm excited. Verna's sending sweet potato slips. Why was the cock tracking? It had ticks. Oh, gosh. Oh, Desiree forgot about the sweet potato she bought, and it's growing in the corner. Hey, that's okay. Oh, thank you, Verna. Yeah. So yeah, he was very angry with me. Ringo was very angry with me as soon as he was in the carrier, and when he was in the car, he was even more angry, and it took him a while to calm down at the vet, and then he was lovey-dovey, and then he needed hugs. a bud. And he got 3 shots. So I don't remember what it is. Rabies was one of them, and I don't remember what the other ones were. But yeah, he'll be staying the night inside and probably go out in the afternoon tomorrow. So yeah. Mama Kitty was very worried about him. They talked a lot of the day through the front door. I have a security door on the front door so they can see each other and hear each other. They talked a lot of the day there. She was concerned, but everybody's okay. So, we have a lot of growing things going on. The maples are in flower. The dandelions are booming. The apple trees are going right now. Cherry trees, I think, are finishing up. And I don't know that anything has popped up yet in the garden. I'm pretty sure something ate a lot of my pea seeds, unfortunately. But yeah, so things are happening. I'm hoping garden will pop soon. It's been pretty warm. It's in the upper 70s today. It was upper 70s yesterday. And then we're going to be going down into I think we're supposed to get rain. Let me just look that up real quick. I think we're supposed to get a little bit of cool down and rain. Let me just check that real quick. Daily. Yeah. So, well, the rain might not happen until Thursday or Friday. Definitely on Saturday and Sunday. Of course, it has to rain on the weekend. Anyway, yeah, a little bit of cool down, not a whole lot of cool down. Yeah. So there's that. Tommy's here. Welcome, Tommy. Tommy is Aquatic News Network. Howdy, Earthlings. Howdy. All right. And Steve says the ice is melted. I'm no longer mad at you. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So how does the rest of the country look right now? Because we are having our little bit of a heat. I know you guys had some heat earlier. Tommy says, "Woo, I've been worried something fierce." Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that is I have not been paying attention to what the weather's doing. I know Hawaii's been getting hit with storms, but yeah. Berna says cold here right now for the next couple days. All right. It got windy this afternoon. I did after work go put in a super on my hive. I haven't gotten into it. My mentors, my bee mentors, were going to get into it with me yesterday, and then stuff happened in their life that got to delay that. So I'm like, okay, well, I think they're probably running out of room. So what should I do? And so I do have some frames to put in so they can continue their trek upwards. So yeah. And I actually didn't use any smoke. Last time when we got into them, we just did one puff of smoke at the entrance, and that was it. This time, since I wasn't taking anything out, I was just taking apart a couple things and then setting it on and then setting those things on top. I didn't bother doing any smoke, and they did perfectly fine. No one was pissed at me. They all lived. And even the bees that were up eating the sugar, it's called something, I don't remember what it's called, but the sugar part in the top, they're eating that, and they didn't even move. Like I lifted them off, put them down, and then I did my stuff, and I lifted them up and put them up, and they were still there. So they did really, really good. Yeah. Serena says, why are fish so smart? They live in schools. Very mild you're in Texas, right, Tommy? Was getting hot, but the storm systems have cooled it off. All right. Steve's going to be 80 during the day, 50s at night for a few weeks. That's pretty warm. Uh-oh. Tommy's getting given it right back. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. Oh my gosh. How you get water into watermelon plant in spring? Okay, north central Texas. Got it. Got it. All right. So it's warming up is kind of or warming up or cooling down. Yeah. So we're supposed to have a little bit of cool down. I thought we were supposed to have rain sooner, so that means I need to water the garden more than I thought. I don't have the automatic water hooked up to the actual beds right now, but that's okay. I can hand water. It's not that much, and so I'm hoping they'll come up. I'm hoping. Yeah. Tommy says the weather is as confused as we are. I'm convinced. Yep. Yeah, we have the ash trees are starting to leaf out. I think that's a cottonwood over there along the creek. That's leafing out. There's a lot of things happening, which is good. I have some strawberries that have flowers, which is good. Trying to think what else is flowering right now. I haven't been going very far from the house recently. My leg is still recovering from from the bee adventure. I think it's my IT band that's tight. But yeah, my knee is having it's not real issues, it's just things are tight from all that hillage. Yeah. So, well, what do you guys want to talk about tonight? I planted the garden. I still have not planted my starts for the summer garden. I actually think I'm going to just wait until my parents are here and do that together with them because I have a lot to get done before they come. So, if you guys are listening, you might get assigned to something. um, um, anyway, so that's something that needs to happen. And yeah. Tommy says, I just recovered from a sickness. Ooh, that dropped me to 158 pounds at 6'4". That is, yep, that's the one way to lose weight. Not good. Have a while of recovery to gain my weight back. Yeah. Oh, you feel weak? At least you're feeling better though, and you'll be able to start anew, gain some muscle back probably, right? Yeah. Um Brenda says, did you ever think of putting red painted rocks in your strawberry patch to teach the birds to leave your strawberries alone? I haven't had, and yes, the screen is shaking because I'm knocking on wood. I haven't had issues with birds really for those so far. And I think it'll work fine. I mean, it's kind of akin to putting a red Christmas light in your tomatoes before they get red, so that the birds come and peck the not Christmas light, Christmas. You know what I'm talking about? The ornament, the Christmas bulb. Yeah. And I was gonna do that one year and I didn't, but I haven't historically, and this is a new place for me, so who knows? I haven't historically had issues with birds doing that. The more issues I have with birds is when the seeds are in the ground or when they're super young. They'll snip those. So I might have to invest in some bird netting. I have bird netting. I just realized I have bird netting. My neighbors, when they moved out, they gave me a bunch of bird netting. I might have to use that at some point. So anyway, yeah. Skeletor. Yeah, I mean, you weren't heavy to begin with. Let's just say that, Tommy. That's a skinny weight. Verna says, glad you're still with us, Tommy. Yes. So Tommy says, definitely at top of the list, gaining overall health back. Don't care about muscle for looks, just health. Yeah, well, that's what I was saying, because when you lose that much weight, you're losing muscle as well. Like there's a point at which that's affected. Yeah. Yeah, so Verna says, or a ceramic egg to break your chickens from eating eggs. There's lots of things that you can put out that's fake. Um, I've been seeing commercials for a dragonfly clip, which you can get anywhere. So I don't know why you would order from those people specifically. But, and I was thinking about that. Like, it's a butterfly, not butterfly, dragonfly. The dragonfly clip that you put somewhere. And I'm like, I wonder how well that actually would work. If it would work like, how people put out the fake owls on their roof to keep pigeons off or whatever, and it works for a little bit. And then because the owl doesn't move, they start landing on the owl. I'm wondering if it's that kind of thing or not. But dragonflies and damselflies are really good to have around. And I mean, dragonflies are pretty cool. They eat anything and they eat it while flying. So it's eat and dash. Tommy says, thank you, Verna. It's awful about 6 days. Ooh, not good. I just had to rescue a rat snake that was caught up in bird netting. See, I don't like bird netting, and I have a bunch of it because the neighbor gave it to me when they left. They used it more as like a fence and a ceiling kind of thing. Um, but yeah, I think just for starting seeds. Yeah. Maybe an AI owl. Oh no, don't get that started. I don't want one. One that turns its head and makes audible screech every now and then. They probably have those. They probably exist. I wouldn't want it to be AI though. I'd want it to just be like on a cycle or something. Desiree says dragonflies will eat your fish, sadly. The nymphs, which is what a baby dragonfly is called, which are aquatic, they eat whatever comes to them. So, I mean, you just have to have enough fish and you'll be fine. Yeah, I agree, Verna. I don't know if it's a true statement, but I'm going to accept it as a true statement. Verna says dragonfly is the most proficient hunter there is. Yeah, I mean peregrine falcon might be in the running here. Um, what else would be in the running? Peregrine falcons, when they dive over 200. They're the fastest animal on Earth, and they dive 200 miles an hour, I think. And they keep one eye. They dive in a spiral because they keep one eye on their prey, and then they just bash it out of the sky. Yeah, pretty cool. But dragonflies, yep, they're pretty proficient. Um, Tommy, I need more depth of what you're saying. Florida uses AI rabbits to find invasive snakes. I don't understand what that means. Tell me more. Tell me more, because we're not getting very far. Uh oh, not AI, just electronic. Got it. But the rabbits are AI. Interesting. Satellite linked and even put off pheromones and stand for the exact frequency actual rabbits. Oh my goodness. So that's another way to hunt them. I mean, there's a snake issue, an invasive snake issue, a pet trade released into the wild issue, in Florida for sure. Yeah. Um, Brenna says, I saw a documentary on dragonflies, and that's where I learned it. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Yes, they will eat fish. That's what I'm saying. You just need more fish. Um, oh, you made a story on it. Okay. Yep, boa constrictors. Okay, so Steve's saying that the fake rabbits get eaten by the snakes so they can be tracked. Yeah, that I understood it once he described what he meant by by AI rabbit. Yeah. When the rabbits detect a snake, they send a signal to wildlife co-ops to tag their location. They probably have a tracker in them. Yeah. Yeah, dragonflies are Verna's favorite insects. They're pretty cool. They're like they're the battlers of the sky. And they show up where there isn't any water. Um, I don't know how wide their range is or how far they go, but I was hiking out at Joshua Tree, and there's like no water there. Like they warn you that bees will come after your sweat because it's water. And I actually did have one bee. It was a honeybee. I had one bee. I had taken off my boots to let my feet air out, and there was one bee that came and landed on my ankle, and I could feel its tongue going in the weave of the sock, and it was getting the salt and the liquid from my sweat. But dragonflies, they have to reproduce in the water, so their babies are in the water, and when they're adults, I don't know, actually don't know how long they live, but I saw one in Joshua Tree way, way, way away from any water. So, and not just water, it has to be like ponded water, like water that stays there. So anyway, it was pretty interesting. Alligators like those rabbits too. Oh boy. Yeah, so Tommy's giving more information on dragonflies. They're amazing. The nymphs have an insane ability with their hinged jaw, almost like mantis shrimp. Very cool. Yep. Yeah, we got that. Not talking about alligator nymphs because that's not a thing. Baby alligator is what they're called, I think. Pretty sure. Um, yeah. No, if you ever get a if you ever like look up their mouth parts, they're just as scary as grasshoppers. And I've been bitten by a grasshopper. It was not fun. So yeah. Well, we'll do another close up of Mr. Ringo since he's here. Sue says winged adults dragonfly typically lived for 2 to 8 weeks. That's not very long. All right, here's Mr. Ringo sleeping away. Hi, baby. All right. Straight aliens, yeah. No, the toe biters are the weirder ones. That's an aquatic insect. Yeah, I didn't know it was only 2 to 8 weeks. Um, the nymphs can live 5 years in the water. That's interesting. That's interesting. I mean, it probably depends on how much food's available and stuff, right? Yeah. So if you do add a water feature, the water insects will come all the way down to the water striders and water beetles. Like they will show up, which is pretty amazing. Like it makes me wonder how many of them are just flying around us in search of a new water. Like, why did you end up in my yard? Yeah, I think that's an interesting path to go down. Right, they only become dragonflies for breeding. Well, that's with pretty much any insect. Not pretty much any insect. A lot of insects, that is true. Um, Butterflies is often true. Moths is often true. Um, yeah. Tommy says, "Yep, gotta shed that alien skin and look pretty first." Yeah. Oh yeah. The nymphs of the dragonfly they look much more scary than the dragonfly, especially close up. Yeah. So, dragons of the water. So, I hope everybody had a good holiday weekend. Um, and I hope you guys had some good time with family. I made phone calls and stayed here, but that's okay. I did breed ravioli this weekend with Percy. Those are rabbits, for those that don't already know. And so that happened. I'm going to breed rigatoni after this live. and those will be the last breedings of the year. When you start looking at how long it takes for them to pop out, and then how long it takes before processing, we're looking pretty far into the summer. And maybe I shouldn't have even done this one, but I did. So those babies will go. It takes 30 days for gestation, 30, 31. So that's a month. And then I'm processing at 13 weeks, but you know what? The ones later in the summer, depending on the weather, it's going to depend on the weather. They might get processed early. Between 12 and 13 weeks is good. But I like the 13 weeks because they get, I think, significantly bigger in that week. And so, yeah, so the breeding, that'll be the last breeding of the year. Now, if you guys did sign up for a workshop, if people that are local, sign up for a workshop. Last workshop, I showed that. I got to show that, people saw it in person, all that. I did record the whole thing, so we will be seeing a video of that. I'm not going to put a video of that up on YouTube because apparently YouTube doesn't like homesteading stuff and doesn't understand that bunnies making more bunnies is a teachable experience, but they don't like it. So now I do have some brief videos earlier when I was at my other property that they haven't said anything about, but that's unfortunately a true statement, that YouTube tends to not like anything related to that. And even just not even related to that, but if they think something's visually similar to that. And then they have all these channels that there's like a whole bunch of stuff that I don't want to see. But anyway, yeah. Let me scroll up. Verna says, taking walks on a warm spring morning near the river, it lifts my heart when I walk into a mass of dragonflies. Yep. And Tommy says, have you ever seen the dragonflies lay their eggs? Yes, I have. It's like watching them pogo on the water. I have. Desiree says, gonna build my chicken run out of PVC, but boyfriend wants wood because cheaper, but I don't know how to build like that. Coop might be wood though. Depends on if I feel brave enough to build one. Yeah. Wood's cheaper than PVC, huh? Wood's pretty expensive. I don't know how much PVC is right now. Yeah, and I don't know what predators you might have in your area, but a wood is going to be a stronger thing than PVC. If you're just looking to do like a hoop, then that's one thing. Is your chicken run? Oh, chicken run. So that's not movable. It's going to be permanent. Yeah, I would just do that. Tommy says put it under pets and animals. Doesn't matter. I have everything under entertainment right now because they have a bunch of categories, but they don't have a homesteading category or a farming category or anything like that, which is silly because it's, I don't know, as of 2020, that was the biggest, category, but you can't put it as that category. So yeah. Coop. So Desiree, I'm asking if you're expecting it to be mobile or not. Tommy says instead of educational block in YouTube is what I meant. I don't know. Maybe it might change things up. I don't know. I don't feel like testing YouTube at this point. I feel like they're I've heard some stories and it's been pretty, okay, you're done. Bye. And it's like things that people are like, I've been showing this stuff for years. Why just now? So it seems like there's been a shift in there to be less accepting of a lot of things. So I just don't show that. Now, if you want to sign up for a in-person workshop, we will go through everything. So yeah, I checked the calendar again. I'm like, yeah, May is going to be a processing. For some reason, I didn't think there was any processing in May, but no, there are. They're right out there right now. So there'll be a May processing and a June processing, and hopefully more. We should have babies coming from penne and risotto later this week. I think later this week. Hold on. Hold on. I think I put the nest box in later this week. Let's see. Penne and risotto. Nest box goes in on the 10th or 11th. So when is that? Let me look at the calendar. See if my parents are going to see it. They're probably going to miss it. So babies are due next week. Yeah. Oh dang, yeah. Steve says PVC bending for a curved top is better than wood. Yes, so not movable, but movable if need be. Okay, so the thing that I would say is make it out of wood, but then for the top, use PVC. And how you do that is you can connect. There's somebody help me with the word. There's like a half circle clamp thing with two holes in it that you around a pole. There's a word. I don't have it in my head right now. I'm sorry. But you can use a couple of those. Don't use one. Use two at least, and connect that PVC to it, and or connect like a piece of rebar if you want that to be removable. But I don't think you need that to be removable. But make sure you and butt it up against like another piece of wood. So, and if you're not confident with building things yet, I would take a look at my rabbit tractor building, because that will give you the basics of what you need to do, and then you can adjust it for what you're doing. You don't need it to be heavy. You don't need it to be heavy duty. And it should be able to be moved. Yeah. There should be an agriculture category for sure. I don't know if there is. We're going to look right now. We are going to look right now. I'm going to pretend like I'm uploading something. Here's the thing. You have to actually go through it to see. Upload video. Let's select file. We're going to upload this one and see where we get. Next. Oops. Okay, on, done. Next. None. Next. You'll see how, and I'm not writing anything. This is how long it takes. Okay, we're not doing that. Oh. And wait, back. Next. Okay, I missed something. Did I go too quickly? Aha, here we go. I actually forgot to do the show more. Okay, we are answering the question of what categories there are. So go down here. Nope, there's only one thing that starts with the A. It is autos and vehicles. Yeah, there's not many choices. It's autos and vehicles, comedy, education, entertainment, film and animation, gaming, how-to and style, music, news and politics, nonprofits and activism, people and blogs, pets and animals, science and technology, sports, travel, and events. Those are the choices. So, not great choices. And I'm going to delete that one. Delete forever. Yes. Anyway, that was the very, I don't know if that was appreciated at all, but I did. There isn't anything related to growing things, which is ridiculous. All right. Yeah, they have AI filtering everything, and that screws up stuff so bad. It really, really does. I had, what was it? There was something recent that it got pulled, like it got held and then it got out, and I'm like, no. So when things get approved, like it goes through the process and it's like, oh yeah, we're actually going to be accepting this. It's gone through the process. You don't usually get an email for that. And there was one video on, I don't remember which one, but there was one video that I got an email that says, oh yeah, this is actually approved. I'm like, so what about this had red flags? Because there wasn't anything like remotely close. Yeah. Yep. Brackets. Yeah, but it's some sort of bracket. It's like a, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, says we have a lot of carpenter bees, so I want to stay away from wood. If it's not rotted wood, you shouldn't have an issue. They like rotted wood. All right, Tommy's going after dinner. Thanks for stopping in. Pipe strap. So plumber's tape is I think what you're looking for. It's not tape. It's that wasn't what I was thinking, but that would definitely work. Plumber's tape is that metal strip with a whole bunch of holes in it, so you can just cut it with snippers and then drill screws into where the holes are. Yeah, so plumber's tape would work. But the ones I was thinking of, like electricians use them all the time. Anyway, yes, eat well, Tommy. That's from Verna and from all of us. Oh, is a pipe strap something else? It might be. 50 cents each. Okay. Yeah, you don't need metal pipes as a base. I would do wood. I mean, unless you want it to like connect and come apart and stuff, but in general, if you're gonna make it, it's gonna stay together. And I would do it out of wood. Um, that would be my preference. Because as soon as you go metal pipes, you go way up in price. And I don't think it makes sense to do metal pipes unless you're looking for it to like never rot kind of a thing. But yeah. Exactly, Verna. Exactly. Yeah, Verna says, yeah, YouTube lets you teach people how to break the law, but not how to survive on your own. Yep. Desiree says 1-inch schedule 40 pipe. Let me see. 1-inch schedule 40 pipe. For PVC? That'll work for the top. I would definitely, yeah, I think that's fine to use for the top. I personally wouldn't make the whole thing out of it. But yeah. Not even gardening. No, gardening's not a choice. That's what I'm saying. All of my stuff is under entertainment. I had it under pets and animals, but then I got too many people going, oh my gosh, you're eating the animals. And it's like, okay, obviously this is not the right category, but what is the right category? So I changed it at some point, I think a couple of years ago, I changed it to entertainment because where else does it fit, Yeah. Henry says, our whole garage and deck is eaten. You might have some rot in there then. I mean, maybe they'll attack, wood, but I wouldn't think so. Um, Not fresh wood. If you get redwood, that's going to be less likely, or cedar, that's going to be less likely. But yeah, for sure, the carpenter bees go after rotting wood. Yeah. Yeah, metal straps with holes placed in a roll. That's called plumber's tape. In case anybody's looking for that name, it's called plumber's tape, even though it's not tape. I don't know why it's called tape. Hanger strapping, a roll of metal holes, that's called plumber's tape. Yeah. Okay, and you were thinking of something else, Steve. Got it. That's another good point. So Verna has another good point. If you make it all out of PVC, a good breeze would blow the run away. So you do need some weight to hold it down. That is a very good point. Steve says, I like the pipe strap. It's more secure than the hanger strapping. Let me look that up. Pipe strap. That's exactly what I was thinking of. I don't know why I just didn't look it up the first time you said it. That's exactly what I was thinking of, Steve. Thank you. Thank you for being like, no, this is what I meant. Oh. You'd like it to easily come apart and be transportable. You're going for greenhouse design you saw. Okay. I lost light. No, I lost light right here. Am I headless now? Am I? It's called The Sun is Going Down. That's what it's called. I'll just start sinking. All right. It's almost down. Okay, Mr. Ringo is in the spot that I need to be. I'm going to move this light over here and hopefully it'll cast a shadow. Let's see if that works. Is that better? Somewhat, huh? I'm not blinded anymore. All right. I'm in the dark. I'm in the light now. I don't have my curtains up yet. I really should. Carpenter bees like regular wood. Oops. Not rotting like porch tops. Typically top of roofs and walls. Really? I thought they always went after rotting wood. That's where I've always seen them. Interesting. No cedar. I also want to move quail cage in there. So you can have cedar if it has already off gas. So if it's an older cedar, then that's fine. If it's like fresh cut cedar, then that's still off gassing. So that there is a difference there. Yeah. T-posts and candle panels. Yep. Yeah, Verna's the T-posts and candle panels. And then with the cattle panels, you probably have to put something on the cattle panels, but the cattle panels will get the structure. You'll probably have to put like hardware cloth or chicken netting or something over that. But I like that idea, Verna. Yeah, much better. It works. I got a much better. It works. It's like well, it's not blinding me. So hey, oh, how funny. Um. Anyway, so yeah, YouTube doesn't like to categorize things as they should be, and it's really interesting like that they have gaming on there, but they don't have anything related to gardening or any of that. But yeah. Cattle panels are $50 each here for smaller ones. They're not that much here, but they did go up in price so much since the first time I bought them. First time I bought them, I think they were like $16 each. And then now I don't even know what they are now, but I think last time I paid like 30 something for one. So yeah, it does not surprise me that it has gone up again. The thing about cattle panels is they don't go bad. You can also use like cattle fencing. You know, they have the cattle fencing that has the squares. Yeah, and use poultry netting over the top or a tarp over the top. It all depends on what you want to do and how much money you want to spend. Yeah. $29 to $32 around Verna for the cattle panels. Yeah. And you'd only need, I mean, I don't know how big you're wanting to make it, but they're 16 feet long. So I don't know how long you want to make it. But you might only need like three. You know, you might do two long ones and then cut one in half. That might work. The sun is going down. Yeah, cattle panels I think were $16 the first time I got them, and I should have bought a lot more. I should have moved them with me, but I didn't. But I do have some. I do have some here, and they are in a pile, and so far have not been used for the garden. I've used a couple for other things, but yeah, 10 by 20 by 60 by 6.5. That's not a cattle panel. That's the square footage of your coop. Does it have to be that? Because if you did 8 by 16 or 16 by 16, then you could do it with cattle panels. Yeah. And 6.5, if you're thinking about eventually putting quail in there, I would make it taller than that. Because depending on what you're going to do for your flooring. So I would highly recommend deep litter, which will be like 18 to 24 inches, ideally, of wood chips, and because that's enough to have enough heat to do the to make it into a compost pile. And you want to have a height is you want to have a height to ensure that when you have the maximum amount of deep litter on the floor, you still have 6 feet. I will say that quail, we're talking Japanese quail, Katrina's quail, they basically top out about 5.5 feet with their flying. I mean, at that point, they're not pushing still, but you do want to avoid, them bashing their head on the roof. Yeah, 16-foot cattle panel would give you a 6-foot inside. What? I'm confused. 16-foot cattle panel would give you a 6-foot inside. Cattle panels are only like 4 feet tall. I think cattle panels are 4 feet and hog panels are 3 feet. Where are you getting 6 feet? I'm sure you're getting it from somewhere. I'm just not thinking about it. You'd need 3 cattle panels and it's more secure and movable. Yeah, I would say I would think cattle panels is a good idea as a structure, and then putting a netting or putting a hardware cloth or something like that, um, that would help you keep things out. Yeah, 4 adult chickens and 4 babies. Yeah. No, if you do 3 cattle panels and you do, because they're 16 feet long, so 16 and 16 plus half of 16 and half of 16, that's 8 feet wide. That'll be plenty of room for them. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna put the cages inside, not loose. Okay. Oh, Steve, and probably Verna, you are thinking completely different than I was. Yes. Yes. So you're talking about making an arch with the cattle panels. That eliminates your PVC altogether. If you do a wood base, just a flat out wood base, maybe up a little bit too, and then put that inside your wood base and attach it with some screws or some fasteners that Steve was talking about, that would definitely work. For some reason, I was thinking of the less efficient way. So yeah, you can do that, and you can also do that like on top of something too. So yeah. So they're talking about taking a cattle panel here and bending it so it's like that. Like the arches that I had in my old garden. I don't know why I wasn't understanding that. Thank you, Steve. Basically needs a good deep clean with no animals. I get it. I get it. Okay, Verna, that is what you're talking about. See, just shout louder, Verna. I didn't hear you say, "Hey, that's not what I'm talking about." I was thinking of this way and this way and this way, but yeah, you guys are thinking that way. Um, and if you wanted to, you could make it wider and put two together. I put two together to go over my driveway at my old place, and it was a little, wonky, but yeah. Yes, I got it now. Hoop coop like a wind tunnel. I yes, I got it. Yeah. Oh, Verna's not paying attention. That's okay. That's okay. Um, yes, I get it. Sorry, I was not understanding that. Yeah. Yep. That's gonna be probably, honestly, Desiree, that's probably gonna be cheaper than your other options, and it's gonna be much more portable because all you have to do is make the base, and you could make several bases and put them together too. Just make a wood frame, go up on the corners, and maybe every 4 feet, make another wood frame. This is what I would do. And then literally stick the cattle panels in there like this, and then it'll go out like that and up against the wood, connect it to the wood, and there's your structure. You can put a tarp over it. You can put you don't even have to put anything else over it if you put a tarp over it. But where there's no tarp, I would put hardware cloth or netting or something like that. Yeah, yeah. Desiree says I looked all different coop types. Cow panel one for a size I need is way out of our budget. Are you sure it's not cheaper? Because there's some stuff that's pretty expensive out there. For instance, if you don't want wood, you can always just use T-posts to keep it stable. Yes, that's true. That's true. Yeah, so Verna is fixing her worry about it blowing away by saying pound in a couple pound in T-posts on the corners and attach it to the T-post, and then it'll be well grounded. Yeah. Yep. All right. I don't know where my brain was, guys, because I should have picked up on that way earlier. I must be tired. Ringo's sleeping. How you doing, dude? Hmm. Tummy. Rub the tummy time. He's a cutie. Probably just looks like a black blob on there. Oh, we're stretching. We're stretching. Honey, that's not for you to play with. Can I have that back? That goes on the couch. Okay. Hang on. Hey, you don't need this. You don't need that. Hi, baby. All right. Steve says cattle panel at Tractor Supply here is 35.99. There are different types: goat, pig, horse. You want cattle. Exactly. And that's what I was getting at, is what Steve is saying. You'd spend more than that on PVC to make it structural. Yep. Yep. And if you honestly, you don't even need a base. If you wanted to make it totally, this is going to stay here and be kind of permanent, but if I move, I want to take all the pieces, just make it exactly like an arch trellis. Exactly. Put two P posts on either side and have the arch there, and then put two T posts next to that and make another arch there, and do it that way. That's going to be the most portable, as long as you don't want to make it portable while you're living there. If you want to move and bring it all with you, that's the way to do it, because then you can use that as a trellis later, or you can use it for a coop later. Yeah, for sure. T-post, I think, is the way to go. And you could just put tarp over the whole thing, or put some hardware cloth or other netting, depending on who you have inside and who your predators are. He's liking this belly rub. You got curled toes, honey. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would do. Wow. And Desiree says $47.99 to $59.99. You need to make a road trip. It costs you less to make the road trip. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oregon doesn't have sales tax, so that's something I'm thankful for. Is it's no longer 10% more because that's what it was where I used to live. It's no longer 10% more than what you think it's going to be. Yeah. Verna's asking Desiree how far away is a Tractor Supply store. Yeah, good question. There's other supply stores that carry it too. Just Tractor Supply is like the one that is kind of all over most of the area. Yeah. 10-foot pipe is $6.68, but how many 10-foot pipes do you need to do the same thing? That's what Steve is saying. To be structural, you're gonna need more. And if you were to do that in the same way, how I would do it would be to put rebar in the ground and then put that over the rebar. Um, but you still need structural support in between those hoops, and they're gonna have to be closer. Yeah. Steve says you have other farm supply places there. That Tractor Supply price is not my town, just Tractor Supply price everywhere. Yeah. Tractor Supply and Rural King are the ones that have good prices. See, and we don't have Rural King. Um, Anime says we have small ones, 20 minutes, Rural King, 35-ish. Yeah, I would call and see if you could order and what the ordering would be. Because that's the other key is that don't always go with what they have in the store. Um, you can ask for a special price, honestly. Um, when's the next holiday that things will be on sale? That's another thing. Mother's Day, this just popped in my head. Green Stocks, their best sale is the Mother's Day sale, so it's going to be right before Mother's Day. I don't know when Mother's Day is. It's in May, but we do bake sale the Saturday before for town. Mother's Day is the 10th, so if anybody is wanting green stocks, they'll probably start it like May 1st or something. But those are the planters that I have. Yeah. One day off. You just know when the bake sale is. Um yeah, ask how much for them to deliver too. Yeah, that's another thing. Um for example, the Grange Co-op here when we go into town, I did ask that because when I get my fencing supplies, I'm like, well, is it worth borrowing a truck, making several trips, or is it worth having it delivered? And that's probably 40 minutes away, and delivery is $165. I don't know if it is now, but that's what it was last year. And I'm like, well, with gas and me having to load it and unload it and all that, it's kind of worth it. Oh, that's your birthday. May 9th. Happy early birthday, Miss Verna. 15 pipes would be $85. I would wonder if it would have the structural integrity though, because you're going to have not just the ones that go over, you're going to have the ones that go lengthwise. And if you're looking at doing, what'd you say, 10 by 20? It's going to be a lot of pipe. Yeah. Bulk buying has discount. Yeah. Oh, Verna forgot her birthday. May 11th is her birthday. Niece's is May 9th or 13th. Okay. Got it. Little Mr. Ringo is enjoying his belly rub. He's been sleeping most of the day. Well, the time that he wasn't talking with Mama Kitty through the door. Yeah. So did anybody do any garden related things this week? I watered the garden, hoping that things got up. I'm hoping that my peas didn't get stolen by an animal. Yeah. Okay, you just did the measuring today, Desiree says. Okay. Yeah. This is what we do here. We try and solve issues people are having, right? If I understand the questions. All right. The sun is down. Yeah. So yeah, I would definitely look around and realize that with PVC pipes or cattle panels, you're going to have to cover it again with something, whether you make it dark for them and have everything be a tarp, or whether you have some light and have it be netting or hardware cloth or whatever. Calculate that into your costs as well. Yeah. And hardware cloth can get up there, once you start using a bunch of it. Only expensive bit will be the hardware cloth. There we go. Exactly. Awesome. Verna shipped out 9 packages of sweet potato slips. Thank you. I know I'm a recipient. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, the hardware cloth is likely to be more expensive than the framing. Yep. But the other question is, how are you going to attach it? I would say with zip ties if you're doing either one of those things. Thank you. I've been blessed. If you're doing either the cattle panels or the PVC, I think connecting with zip ties is a good idea. Now, how wide of hardware cloth are you getting? Are you going and what is the distance between the arches of PVC if you do that? Because you're going to want to either attach them at the edges of PVC or sew the hardware cloth together with wire. Zip ties, screws, and washers. Okay. Steve says you really only have to do hardware cloth for the lower 48 inches. Then you can do chicken wire further up on the sides. Depending on your predator, and if you have your quail in hutches inside there, that should be fine. But yeah, that's a good point. You could have something different up higher. I just know that rats and mice, they fit in whatever their skull can fit in, and their skull can fit smaller than you think. Yeah. Yeah. So you just did the arch math. So the arch math has to take into account the width of the hardware cloth, right? Or are you doing that only along the bottom? Yeah. There's a lot to do. Steve says, I paid $5 for my hardware cloth for a 36 by 50 foot roll. How did that happen? It was a Lowe's closeout when they switched providers. I emptied 8 Lowe's stores of their supply. I would too. My goodness. My goodness. That's the same story for the roofing that I got that I used for the rabbit tractors. It was $7 and something a sheet, and usually they're like 40 something. And I don't know why it was on sale. I mean, it was just that kind. It was on sale though, and I'm like, let's count things up. Yep, I'm gonna get this much. I didn't buy it all. Probably should have that rate, right? But yeah. Yep. Yeah, and it wasn't announced or anything. Like it wasn't advertised. It was just happened. Yeah. Desiree said math is hard, but I think I'm getting things either tight or right. Right. Yeah. I'm gonna move this back over here because it bothers me over there for some reason. Anyway, So, yeah, I thought it was going to rain tomorrow, and apparently it's less likelihood. Um, I don't understand what you're saying, Anime. That was my tummy. I don't know if you could hear that. My tummy's hungry. You're still laying on your back waiting for belly rubs. How funny. Um, yeah. So not much to report here. Still a lot of stuff to do. I did update the bees. I need to get more of the supers, the frames for the supers. Hey buddy. But I need to put together a list of things to get for the bees because that's going to be something that comes up uh faster than I'm probably thinking. Um, I do have a honey extractor that my neighbor sold to me at a very good price. And so I do have that, but I don't have like any of the strainers to go with it. So I need to get those. I need to get a comb to comb out the drones. Um, yeah. And then frames and stuff. Yeah. Verna starts warming up again Tuesday. You're stealing our heat, huh? No, it's not supposed to get colder. Cold. It's just cooling down, which it needs to do. It's been way too warm for beginning of April. So, yeah. Well, who else is building things? Maybe we can figure out ways to do that. And Steve, how is your new house coming along? Oh, Wednesday. Tuesday only 40s. Yeah, I mean, warming up from what? It's all relative, Verna, right? It's relative. Adam's here. Hello, everyone. Hello, Adam. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Are you enjoying your freeze dryer? Did it arrive yet? I think you said it did. Yeah. Um, I have not used my syrup because I want my parents to taste it, and there's not very much except for to taste. I don't know if you guys saw my syrup video. It was kind of funny how much it ended up with. Not very much, but good experience. We'll probably do it again next year with more maples tapped, um, and see what the result is. I think I probably should get those Nesco like like the big roasters. I'm thinking I should probably get one of those and just have it going, you know, dump it in, have it go, dump it in, have it go, if I have more sap. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because the new wave worked, but it was working pretty slow because it's not meant to boil, it's meant to sear, it's not meant to go for all day. Searing. But the Nescos are. So I'm thinking that might be a good thing to get. I've wanted one for a long time, and then I end up getting the pressure cookers, and I'm like, well, I don't need it. But then now I'm thinking, well, that would be a good thing to have it for because I could just literally set that outside and let it go. And if it's sunny, I'm not, I don't have to hover over it, and I also don't have to, be right next to a fire. So yeah. Nights below freezing until Wednesday at Verna's. Yeah, exactly. Just enough to give me practice. It really was ridiculous. It really was ridiculous. Um, yeah, definitely. But you know what? It's all in the experience, right? I still have acorns over here, Steve. I haven't done anything with them to make the acorn flour that I promised I would make, but I also don't have very much of it. So, yeah. Uh, get it? You can make broth in it too. I like making broth in the pressure cooker because it doesn't take much time. Yeah. Adam says, I've been enjoying the freeze dryer. My wife is addicted to freeze dried strawberries now, which are different than freeze dried strawberries in the store, right? I don't know if you've ever had freeze dried strawberries from the store, but I think they dehydrate them first because when you freeze dry strawberries, they don't shrink. Yeah. And Steve is asking, have you done bananas yet, Adam? When you do bananas, here's a key. When you do bananas, do it at the ripeness that you like to eat them at. Because if, like, I like more ripe bananas, and I freeze dried some that were like a little bit underripe, and they taste a little bit underripe when they're done. So, freeze dry the bananas at the ripeness that you would eat them at. There's my key for that. And they're really good. They're really good. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Verna says I like bananas dark, very speckled at least. I like some specks. I don't need it to be super speckled. Yeah, when I was up at Heart Mountain National Antelope Refuge in southeastern Oregon doing my undergraduate research. Um, I so there's a group up there that goes every year. They have an in-holding within the refuge, and they just go up, and it's a bunch of guys that bring a U-Haul of beer and have a party. They do it every year. They call it the Order of the Antelope. Anyway, when they leave, they give us all of their like leftover food because they bring up a whole bunch of food for everybody. And I don't even remember how many guys are out there, but whatever. And so we got like a whole box of bananas, and nobody was eating it because they were all green. They were just sitting on the counter because they were all green, and they were just starting to get ripe, and then it wasn't there anymore. And we're like, what happened? And like the whole fire crew was there, and it was me, a couple biologists, and like a whole fire crew, and we're like, what happened to the bananas? They're looking good. And another girl that was there, a biologist who was there, had thrown them in the dumpster because they had gone bad. We're like, they're just getting good. And one of the fire guys made her go in the dumpster and get them back out because they were on top. And they're like, no, you're gonna go in there and get them. That was for all of us. Because she ate her bananas green, which is the wrong way to eat a banana unless you're cooking it, and then it should really be a plantain. And it shouldn't be green. Actually, it should be black then. Never mind. I've gone backwards. People are so wasteful. Yeah. I think she was just tired of looking at it, and it didn't serve her anymore, and nobody was eating it, and she thought that nobody else was going to eat it, and she was the only one eating them. It's like, well, yeah, because they're not ripe yet. Yeah. Adam says, I just purchased bananas that were on sale to do this weekend. I have homemade chicken broth pre-freezing currently to see how I like the bouillon results. Yeah, you're going to love it. And honestly, what I do with it is I do it without any seasoning, and I just put it all together, and then the seasoning I can add in depending on what I'm making. So, like if I made chickpeas and actually then powdered them. I should have left some not powdered. But I made chickpeas with uh bone broth, with rabbit bone broth. So like you instead of water, I made it with rabbit bone broth. And then I I cooked that, then I put it in the freeze dryer, then I powdered it, and so now I have um hummus. There we go. I wanted to call it guacamole. It was not. Guacamole is the number one thing that if you as long as you add like lime juice, lemon juice, whatever, that is the number one thing that reconstitutes exactly like you put it in. It's amazing. Avocado should be cheaper. But yeah, so using the chicken broth in or using the bouillon in that way can be really, really good. But and depending on what you do, you might not want certain things in it or, add salt, don't add salt or whatever. So try it a couple different ways and see what you think. But yeah, so I have the large and large holds, and you really shouldn't go all the way up to brim. I pretty much did because you're gonna get thick ice. But 10 quarts is what mine holds, the large of liquid. And really, again, I overfilled it. 10 quarts of liquid goes down into bouillon powdered in the, in the blender of 1 quart of powder. So you can make it as powerful or as weak as you want at that point. Yeah, pretty cool. Desiree says, "Oh, when I'm done with the plans, I'll send it to you. And when I build it, maybe I can sell plans at the farm swap I go to. I'll probably post for free on the members group too." All right. So our concerns are structural stability and the wind turning it over if you go with PVC. So those are the two concerns to look at. Yeah. Yeah, 10-to-1 ratio, exactly, Verna. Yeah. Now, if you cook yours down a lot, and we're talking about the stock again, if you cook yours down a lot before you put it in, you're going to have a higher solid ratio, right? But yeah. Yes, and predator safety is the other thing. So yeah. Yeah, think about those things and you'll do good. And maybe drive the other way to the other town and see what they have. Actually, drive with your phone. Don't drive with your phone. Phone them instead of driving. Yeah. Um, yeah. Well, so the Southern Oregon Beekeepers Association meeting is tomorrow. And Adam, I don't know if you're interested in going to that because you said it was really close to you, right? But it's tomorrow. Starts at social hour. Starts at 5. And then we get into it, and the topic is going to be electric fences, like for bears. And I was like, well, that would have been a helpful topic a couple months ago for me. But that's the topic. And then I'm sure we're going to talk about B school. B school is coming up on the 2nd of May. And that is something that you can do over Zoom. You can do over Zoom and attend that. And I should probably have this up here. Soba wild apricot. Okay, let me see. I don't know why the B school is not the first thing you see. There we go. So, if anybody's interested, you can take this anywhere. This is the first time they're doing this. It's May 2nd. It's going to be full day. Don't know how they're going to do the hive check virtually. But there you go. All right. Anime says my only problem is this app I'm using has preset arches that aren't big enough and normal pipes won't bend. There's connectors. So if you're gonna stick with PVC, there's PVC that has a bell on the end, and that will go into another PVC. Or this PVC will go into the one with the bell. Or you can get connectors that are pretty cheap that connect, that are just connect two together. If you don't have the kind with the bell, that you can make a bigger. And Verna's saying there are pipe benders, and yeah, I'm agreeing with Steve on this. Pipe benders would be for electrical conduit and for metal plumbing. It also would cost a lot of money if you were going that direction. So, yeah, I'm not sure what app there is. I I have to say this. I hate using apps because they hardly ever actually, yeah. It's along the line of AI for me, depending on the app. I like talking to real people. Okay. Yeah, Adam, it's less than 5 miles from you. Yeah, go ahead and click the link that I just put in the chat and check that out. Meetings tomorrow at 5 if you can make it. And then the B school, which is the actual link that I just put there, that is May 2nd. Yeah. Um, oh, Howie's here. Food Forest Permaculture. Welcome, Howie. Welcome. You can also can't rotate the pipes, but can for TS. I don't know what that means. Rotate the pipes. Oh, yeah. So there's elbows and there's just the regular connectors that just connect two of them together. 45-degree connections for side to top. Yeah, there's connectors. Yeah. Anime, if you go into any place that has PVC, you just ask them for where the connectors are, and there's like a whole bunch of them that you can choose from. Um, yeah, and then you can decide whether or not you want PVC glue or not at that point. Oh, Anime says there's a site you can pretend to be AI like ChatGPT to get like you help people. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in that boat. So yeah. Um. Anyway, the bee stuff is happening. Yeah, address is on there. May 2nd from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Bring lunch. Um. Last year there was class portion and then there was a field portion. So if you have a bee suit, bring it. Do they even say that on here, or is it not? Mm, they don't really have a syllabus, do they? I think it is somewhere. It is somewhere on here. Only 26 people signed up so far. That surprises me because usually there's more. Um, we'll probably get a bunch of people to sign up at tomorrow's meeting. Anyway. Okay, so Anime, I would caution you. She says you have a website you're using to make a 3D model that puts everything into a materials list and plans. I will caution you. I don't know which one you're using. I have heard of some of those being totally incorrect. So once it makes it for you, go through it and make sure you like cross off things as you go and make sure that your list is accurate. And then I always, always, always suggest, especially with connectors, get extra because you're gonna, glue something wrong here or there, or need an extra this or that. Yeah. Um, Make Craft Amigo has metal pipe and wood. Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness, Howie, are you planting tomatoes tomorrow? Um, are you planting tomatoes tomorrow from seed or from start? I'm very curious about this because I have not started my tomatoes yet. But they also don't go out till June here, so I have a little bit of time. Hi, Mister. Yeah, Mr. Ringo is a tired little boy right now. He has 3 different shots in him. No glue, just bolts and screws. If you're using PVC, that's an odd way to go about it. All right. Starts from the nursery, bought them today. I might buy some starts and then also do seeds just to hedge my bets. But yeah. Some people were surprised that I didn't garden like over where the pasture is because there's a lot of, well, there's not a lot, but there's, enough pasture that my bunnies aren't getting to all of it right now. And I'm like, no, because that's pasture. And I'm glad that I didn't do that because in the lower area there is a thermocline that happens. The fog comes in, and when the fog sits, it gets cold there. So, um, like the other day, the bunnies that are down in the lower part, their water had ice on it. Bunnies up here didn't, and at the house there wasn't any. So yeah. Howie says cherry tomatoes grow wild here, so I grow beefsteak and others. At my old place, I had Sweet 100 that I planted, and it had babies everywhere for many, many years, and then it stopped at some point. Um, I don't particularly care for a whole lot of um, cherry tomatoes fresh. I like them after they've been dehydrated and then like in things. So like in eggs or soup or something like that. It gives it a different flavor. Yeah. And that's the other thing. That's the other thing with freeze drying that you guys will come to see. And I know Adam, you're new to this. If you're making a sauce where ordinarily you would can it and it would sit on the shelf until you're ready to use it, during that whole time on the shelf, those flavors are melding and they're maturing. That doesn't happen with freeze drying. So what I will be doing is freeze drying like my tomato sauces and stuff and spaghetti sauce, stuff like that. I'll be freeze drying that after it's sat in the fridge for a couple days, 2, 3 days, so that it does get that full flavor meld going on. Yeah. Ooh, ground cherries grow wild here too, as well. Oh my gosh. Howie, what planting zone are you again? I know I've asked you this so many times. Howie's in Canada. He's right there. um I'm 8B here. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I will be growing I mean I have the seeds over there on the floor ready to go. I just haven't gotten the little shed ready for growing yet. So, yeah. Microclimates appear when you have frost, as there is no frost in a microclimate. What? What? That does not make sense, Howie. A microclimate is a climate that is small. It can go either way. It can be warmer or colder. I was saying thermocline, as in there is a line in the air where the temperature is different. That's what I was saying. I think a thermocline can go either way either as well. Let's see. Let's talking about in water, where water temperature drops rapidly, depth separating warm surface water from cold deep water. Okay, well that's AI. Let's see what NOAA says. They're a little more. Yeah, thermocline is a transition layer between warmer mixed water at the ocean's surface and cooler deep water below. I guess I was using a word meant for water. What is the same word for air? Um. Anyway, that's what I was talking about. Marine temperature climate here on southern Vancouver Island is zone 8, but some say higher. Okay. I mean, you're gonna have microclimates within that zone as well. So like I'm zone 8, but also you know, the city that's down south of me is also zone 8, you know, Roll 8B. It's going to be colder here than there and cooler here in the summer than there, but colder in the winter than there, unless they have inversion layer. That's what I was talking about. Inversion layer is air. Unless they have an inversion layer, which they often do, and it does get cold there. So yeah. Oh, okay. We're clarifying. To find your microclimate on a frost day, there'll be no frost at your microclimate site. Well, okay, so you're saying within the world of frost, where is there no frost? And you're looking for that specific type of microclimate. Yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I would say that there's the other thing is also could also be a microclimate. It could be a microclimate that is colder, which in this case I think is true because we have that inversion layer now that I'm using the right word. So yeah. Yeah. Steve says, isn't microclimate where the top of hill is one climate, bottom of hill would be another climate? Yeah, but it also could be even more granular than that, or less granular, whatever. Next to your house is going to be warmer than further away. Just because your house holds heat. So that is something that's going to be true. It's going to be true if you're closer to water, it's going to have a different temperature than if you're further away. So like if there's a big lake, you're going to have the air temperature near a big lake is going to be regulated more than if that lake wasn't there. Yeah. J-Bot's here. Welcome Ecology Today, J-Bot. Good day to all from Huron County, Midwestern Ontario, Canada, in the lee of Lake Huron. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. And hope you're feeling better. Howie says, my kind of microclimates, rocks retain heat, yep, and release at night. So microclimate. Exactly. So that's the kind of thing, like, you can think of the bigger picture, like this valley holds cold air when there is cold air to hold because of, the mist comes in and it sets and it just settles there. But then also it could be, that there's definitely, different things going on in different parts of your property, whether it be uphill or downhill or close to something or far from something. So like what Howie's saying with the rocks warming up, that we apply and can apply in our greenhouses by putting either large rocks or sand or painting barrels of water black and having that warm up and then release heat in that's finding some way to change your climate into a different microclimate. So yeah. Anyway, yes. All right, everybody's saying hi. Live on the ocean. That makes you a different type of gardener, doesn't it, Howie? Still ill, going pro. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, get well soon, like Howie says. Barrel of water, microclimate. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that that's like, it's a man-made one, right? But you can affect your microclimate by doing these things. So for example, like the Great Basin pocket mouse. Again, I'm a biologist, guys. The Great Basin pocket mouse it lives in the desert. Actually, kangaroo rats in some parts of the deserts do this too. Anyway, they collect little tiny pebbles, and by pebbles I mean things like this big, and they will put it at the entrance, like just inside the entrance of their burrow. And what happens is overnight, even though there's not much moisture in the air, that moisture that is coming from within the tunnel, it will hit the cold air and then condense and it'll fall down and it will gather on those rocks so that they can go then and go drink the little water droplets off of those rocks. So that animal is creating a system and honestly a climate where they not creating a climate. I mean, they made the hole, but creating a way they can benefit from that microclimate right at the base, right at the entrance of those burrows. So there's going to be a point at which the water coming out of the burrow, so vapor, water vapor, breathing, will come out of the burrow, and at some point it's going to hit that cold air, and when it hits that cold air, it's going to condense and come down. So that's them tool use. I don't know if people have called it that, but I think that's what it is. And they will then drink that water. Now, that would still happen if they didn't put the rocks there. Rocks, stones, little tiny things. But then it would be lost if it goes into the sand or whatever. So they've learned how to use that kind of thing, and so we can learn how to use that kind of thing in our gardens, in our lives, in our yards, all that. Yeah. Jay says, I used microclimate to save some bushes in pots that I have to overwinter before I could plant in spring. Yeah, and you can use a nurse tree. I mean, I call it a nurse tree, where you put pots underneath it, and the shade of it even or will change the climate, or the so shade or even warmth or protection from frost. So when it snows here, and it doesn't snow a whole lot, I'll look out and I'll see snow, and then I'll look back here and I'll see snow, but then on the ground there's not much snow. So if they're underneath, certain trees, you're going to get that snow melt as water, but it's going to have to be a much colder system or a much stronger amount of precipitation to affect what is planted or what is growing underneath those trees, to get it to have an effect from that system. So anyway, pretty interesting. Yes, it is cool, Howie. It is cool. I mean, they get water from some interesting things. Their is it their kidney? They have some physical adaptations where the moisture gets sucked into, I don't remember if it's the kidney or if it's part of the intestine, but they have some part of their biology where the moisture part gets recirculated, or it's a long, what's a loop of Henle? Is this what I'm talking about? Loop of Henle? Yeah. Why do I know this? Loop of Henle is a U-shaped portion of the nephron in the kidney, critical for concentrating urine and reducing its volume through countercurrent multiplier system. So basically, you can they have a longer loop of Henle so that more of the moisture that is in the urine can then go through that and back into the body, so their urine is more concentrated. Anyway, there you go. Way cool from Howie. Always learn something here. I did not even remember that I remembered what that was. But it comes up, right? It comes up. Microclimates. How would you even connect the conversation, right? You ever take a conversation and walk it backwards, find out where you came from? It's pretty interesting. Let's do one more look at Mr. Ringo. So Mr. Ringo went to the vet today. Can you even see him? I don't know that you can even see him. There he is. There he is. Yeah. He went to the vet today, got some shots, and he's sleepy. He's staying the night inside. Mama Kitty was supposed to go to the vet, but she eluded me for 3 days. So she did not go to the vet. She was worried about him, though, and they talked through the security door when he got back. And because he has his tick medicine on him, I figured You can stay the night in here. He'll go out in the afternoon tomorrow. So, yeah. All right. Howie's out of here. Thumbs up. Good night, Katrina and fellow Earthlings. Good night. Thank you for stopping in, Howie. And then Jbot says, there will be a quiz later. Make notes. Oh, boy. You're funny. And Steve has a note from his mom. He is excused from the quiz. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for doing this on Monday. I didn't even think of it last Monday when I said, oh, yeah, it's going to be on Thursday. Because this happens to be a Monday that things were not happening on, and my parents are coming in on Thursday. So that's what's happening. My parents are coming on Thursday. They're going to stay a long weekend. And I'm like, well, I could do it Thursday. I'm like, why? I'm not doing anything after work on Monday. Let's just do Monday, So yeah, thanks for showing up. Bella's here. Welcome. Hi, everyone. Wow, I'm just joining now. Who are we talking about urine? Here's where we have to back up and retrace our steps. We were talking about microclimates and how microclimates can be very micro. And I use the example of, I think it was a kangaroo rat that I learned this about. They have a longer loop of Henle by the kidney, which reabsorbs moisture from soon-to-be urine. And they have a longer loop of Henle than most other things. And when and I don't know if it's kangaroo rats or pocket mice. I think I learned the rock thing with pocket mice. But anyway, there are some rodents that take advantage of the microclimate at the entrance of their burrow. So there's the burrow, and then there's outside, and then there's a space, I don't know how big, that is the microclimate. And that space is where, when it's nighttime and it's cold outside and it's warmer inside, the little critter has been breathing, and in that breath is moisture, and the moisture ends up going up to go out into the world, except it hits that cold threshold and it condenses, and there's little tiny rocks that some rodents do, and they put it right where they need to, and then they get to drink the water of droplets that come off of the rocks once it condenses. So there you go. There you go. Oh, okay. Yeah, you never know what you're walking into here, do you, Bella? J-Bot says, J-Bot has sweaty ink smudges on her palm. Oh, do we know where from? Or is this a mystery that needs to be solved? Yes, your intestines absorb a lot of water in the stomach, but we're talking about loop of Henle, which is the kidney. Yeah. You're in trouble. You're in trouble for being late? Oh, boy. J-Bot. All right. Water is important in all its forms here on the blue planet and all that. Yep, exactly. Steve says, so we have to absorb urine to take advantage of our microclimate. Got it. We have a student that hasn't been paying attention. Just because you're excused from the quiz by your mother does not mean you learned. Goes to naughty quarter. No. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I'm relating things. I hope it's relatable. Everybody pees. Okay. Oh, ink sponges for a cheat sheet for the quiz. I totally missed that, Steve. Totally missed it. Just like I missed both you and Verna deciphering Desiree's comment correctly and me not. So I don't know what's going on today. Maybe I'm like Mr. Ringo here and sleepy. Yeah. He had a very meowy time in the car. He does not like the car. All right. Abella says, I'm trying to get the bunnies to drink from a water bottle in addition to a bowl because they keep flipping their bowl over. If mom knows how to do it, she can teach the babies. If she's not teaching the babies, what I would literally do is hold them up to it and push their mouth against the little ball so that they can tell it's wet. And you do need to monitor that though, because they do need water. Yeah. I have used and I will use again. Let me find a link for it. It's probably on Amazon. Rent a coop rabbit drinker. That's not it. It's kind of it. Well, it's probably on Amazon. I think that's where I got it from before. You don't have to get it from Amazon, but is that it? Okay, so there is a metal version that is for rabbits. For rabbits. That I like. And if you set it up, did they change everything? Did they change them? I think they changed them. Well, something like this. Here. Copy. Let's see. Copy. Okay, I don't know if these are the ones, water, I don't know if these are the ones that stay full or not, but they should have a float valve. Maybe that's the key that I needed to get. Did I just put something there that you guys can't see because it's too long? I probably did. Float valve. They must have changed it. They don't look the same. Maybe it's an improvement. Well, here. Where'd you guys go? Yeah, too long. If you type this into Amazon, you'll get yeah. The first one worked. Did it work for you because you're an admin or a moderator? Yeah, way too long, right? Right, J-Bot? Yeah, they're cups. The ones that I had before were flat on the bottom, and I liked those because sometimes my girls would try and get underneath them, but I'm not seeing them right now. But Rent-A-Coop was the brand, so they must have upgraded. I don't know. They also make nipples. I've never used the rabbit nipples. But the way these work is it's a float valve that's in there, so it always has water in it. And I like that because it always has water, but it also turns off if it's not working. Yeah, they must have just upgraded their stuff because I'm not seeing it. And then the poultry one that I like has the little yellow plunger. And that one stays. It does not have water unless the animal is going. Yeah. Oh, Steve put a link. Thank you. Thank you. Shorter linked worked. I only did one, didn't I? Oh, it went on to the next page. Wait, it did it twice? It did it 3 times. Why did it do it 3 times? I only did it once. Oh my gosh. Everyone is changing everything since AI took over. That is a true story. Yeah. Yes. So let me scroll up. You guys are, yeah, correctly suspicious of JBot. Okay. And so Steve has the other thing that I was going to say, which is take the bowl away, because if they don't have the bowl, they'll have to learn the water, whatever you're trying to teach them. They'll have to learn that. Has anybody had great experience with rabbit water bottles? Because they always drip. I've always had them drip. And I would much rather put together a system like I did. So I have a video that has the full guide to automatic animal waterer, I think is what the name of it is. And it's very long. And if you are comfortable with putting things together, totally skip through it to the parts that you need. But it is recorded for people that don't know what they're doing. That is their starting point. So, but yeah, taking the bowl away is going to be a pretty much required, because otherwise they're just going to drink out of it and keep drinking out of it. Yeah. Abella says a few of them took an exploratory sip, so they seem to have an idea what's up with the water bottles. Good. Good. All right. Oh, maybe that. Okay, I don't know. Their favorite game lately is dumping things over. How old are they, Abella? Because when my babies get about 5 weeks old, because I still am using bowls for feed and water. When they start getting to be about 5 weeks old, that's where I see a bunch of poo and they start peeing in the food. And that's when they go on pasture. Around here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Steve, for putting that short link. Desiree is asking, you guys have any ideas for community events for farm swaps? I have never been to a farm swap, so I don't really know what that's about other than bringing things that you'd like to swap. um, yeah. Are these waters easy to keep clean? Yeah, because you don't. So the key with any water like that's like this, especially if it's hooked up to a uh especially if it's hooked up to a watering system like I had at my old place and I will have again. Um it never runs out of water, so you do have to like wipe it out sometimes, or you can, stop it and then flush out the system if you want. But uh don't put them low. So if you put them somewhat higher, for rabbits, you're going to have to put them low enough that when they're 3 weeks old, they should be able to be getting some sips. Um, they don't really need it at that point because they're going to get milk from their mama, but they will want it, and they will drink it for sure. But put them up high enough. Now with the chickens, I put them up high so they have to go up and go like that. And for the quail, I put them up high enough that they can walk under it on at the highest level of the flooring, which again I use deep litter. So at the highest level of the flooring, they should still be able to be walking underneath it. And then I just put bricks out from it so that they can stand up on the bricks and drink um, above them. Yeah, but if they reach for it, then they don't sit on it and don't poop in it. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't have an issue with them. I had Ravioli whenever she got upset at me because I pet her sister last. Um, she started turning it so it would like dump out and dribble. But other than that, it's good. Yep. Use Teflon tape. You should be good. And they're easy to replace if something happens with it and get extras. Yeah, limited to 210 characters. I just didn't even think of how big that thing is. I just click and there you go. I knew how big it was once I hit enter though. Bella says I just ordered a Waianoa Ranch watering system with cups for quail cages that I hope to try soon. I know nothing about any of their stuff. Um, I know something, but I don't know. Um, I don't know. I haven't personally used it. How about that? I did copy from the address bar. Yes, I did. You are right. Thank you for fixing it, Steve. Yes, and so that was my issue, Desiree, is that the bottles always drip. So I would not have your water bottle with a little ball in the end. I would not have that as your like final answer for watering. I would keep some in case you need to have a hospital cage or something like that. But I would not have that as the end all for that, because what you're going to do is you're going to end up having an always wet area, which is going to introduce stinky stuff. Yeah, they are made cheaply. Yep, they are. All right. Abella says these kits are almost 7 weeks, and I'm going to start weaning them this week. Yeah, you can just take them away from mom at that point. At 5 weeks, you can do that. If you want to make it easier on mom, maybe you leave one behind for a few days, so she can still get milked out, but not all the way. No, I mean, Verna, did your rabbits ever actually wean their young? Because mine never have. They've gone all the way up to 12 weeks, and they would still have feeding sessions. These ridiculous big babies underneath them while they're like, "Wah." Yeah. Um, or lay eggs in them. Did you have your quail lay eggs in those cups? Yeah, put them up higher. Put them up higher. Okay, Steve has personal experience with the Winola water trough. I don't think she said that. I think she said cups. And you love it. Okay. Oh, watering system with cups. So I don't think that's the same as what Steve says. But yeah. Oh, okay. Verna says, "Yep, I've seen mama push them away at 5 weeks, or she will jump away from them as well." Okay, I've seen my mamas do that as well, but then she feeds them later. So it's just where I've seen it, it's been like, not now, you've had enough, this is my time, and then she feeds them later. And it's absolutely ridiculous to see huge babies underneath mama trying to stand high enough to get them all under her, getting kicked in the face and stuff. Yeah. Oh, the site just deleted all your progress. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. I'd maybe not use it. But that's where I stand on those things. Yeah. Yeah, so Steve says mine are not cups, is bigger and better. And I'm familiar with the trough system. I just haven't used it. Um, yeah. Well, see how you like it and go from there. I do like the ones that have the plunger that they peck in order to get the water, because then you don't have a mess on your hands. Um, yeah, in your opinion. Yeah, then you don't have a mess on your hands if they get into it or whatever. And also it doesn't attract mosquitoes if you have mosquitoes around your area. I don't know how the trough works with that. Steve, how does that work with that? Because the trough is open air, right? It's not like they go in to get it. I feel like when there's cups, it's small enough that maybe mosquitoes won't be an issue, but not sure about the trough. Okay, you didn't lose things. Good, Desiree. Good. All right, we have crossed into the 8 o'clock hour. So I don't know if this guy's going to eat anything, but we'll at least try to feed him dinner. Are you hungry? You want dinner? You want dinner? No, he's sleeping. But Mama Kitty surely does. So I'm gonna head out of here, I think. If you guys have any last minute things to throw at me, talk about Loop of Henley more. Okay, the loading issue fixed it. Good. Good. All right, Verna, thanks for moderating. And thank you, Steve, for moderating. Verna says, everyone have a blessed night. Time for me to take Lucy for her walk. Say hi to Lucy. Steve says, my troughs are on the outside of the cage, so they put their heads into the water trough. It's protected in wires as well and works on my gravity system. I didn't know that they were protected in wires as well. Yeah. Nothing to throw. Bye all, J-Bot says. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you. Yeah, so that must have been an upgrade since I have seen it, which is good. Good. Steve says you're in your final moments to ask questions. Oh my gosh. Where do we go from here? This isn't where we intended to be. Name that movie. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Well, I will see you guys later. Next Monday, we are on for next Monday. We are not doing this Thursday because we did today. But we do have the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group. If you guys have stuff that comes up in the week, you have questions, you want to share something fun, all of that, you can put it in there. If you have not joined the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group yet, make sure you answer all the questions and accept the rules. Otherwise, you don't get in. So, yeah, hope everybody's doing good. Have a wonderful night and stay hydrated. Exactly, Abella. Yeah. All right. We will see you next Monday. Thank you for coming and have a wonderful, wonderful night.